Hey guys, it's me Blaine back with another video about not about dividends. We're talking about Bitcoin and why it is such a great investment. Let's get into it. I just wanted to let you guys know that I've been where you are. I know how it is when you don't really know where Bitcoin's gonna be and you don't know how you feel about it yet. I've heard people talk about Bitcoin forever, saying they made a ton of money. My business teacher always talks about how he makes a buttload of money on Bitcoin. And I always hear about how people make a ton of money all the time, but it took me a super long time to be able to pull the trigger on that Bitcoin investment and to be able to make that money. Bitcoin was created, or for a little backstory, Bitcoin was created in 2009 and it kept going up. It blew people's mind when it was at even a cent, because people didn't expect it to do anything because the Bitcoin has no backing really. It's fluctuated a lot, going up to like $21,000 at one point in like 2017. It was insane. Everyone was mind blown about it. It's had a lot of ups and downs. If you would have held a Bitcoin, that would have been an insane amount of growth from less than a cent to $21,000. It's grown an insane amount. People look at it and think that it's trying to be a stock, but it's actually trying to be a new form of currency. That's what the creators, I think the creators it's some group of guys that created Bitcoin, and it's supposed to be a new form of currency to help destroy the government, basically. But that's besides the point. You're trying to invest. So is Bitcoin worth buying in 2020? I would say that it's probably a good investment if you know what you're looking for. If you're using a trading platform and it suggests buy, you have to make sure that you have the right data that shows you that your Bitcoin investment is going to be okay. If you're a long-term investor, I would say that Bitcoin is probably a pretty good bet. I personally think that Bitcoin is going to be going up there pretty soon. I think when the Bitcoin gets when the amount you can mine gets cut to a half, I think that Bitcoin's going to shoot up in price. I think it's going to go to 90,000, and then after that it will go to a million. And I think that it's going to be a really great thing. So for long-term investors, I'm going to give you some data about why Bitcoin is a good investment. Rule number one is that Bitcoin's rules are permanent. So there's no so here, although new Bitcoins can be mined and added to the circulating supply, Bitcoin will never cross its 21 million supply cap. So there will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. No one's gonna flood the Bitcoin market or whatever and make it so your Bitcoin is worth from $20,000 to $2. It's never gonna happen because it's locked. It's a permanent rule to everyone, and that's it really gives you that that your stock is never gonna go to nothing. That it's never gonna drop. It's this idea is completely contrasted to the government, and that's why it's such a great idea, because the government, each and every government's going to print more money each and every day so they can pay off their bills, and for each dollar that's destroyed, they're going to make a new dollar. But Bitcoin, number one, you can't destroy a Bitcoin because a Bitcoin is on a digital platform, so it's there forever once you have it. And there can be depreciation and appreciation, but it's not controlled by a governmental party, or the government in the United States it's a company that runs the money. But Bitcoin is not run by a president, and it doesn't really change because it is because it's how it is. Rule number 2 is Bitcoin will always be scarce. Always. Bitcoin is going to be an amazing price just because of how limited the Bitcoin supply is. There will only be 21 million Bitcoin in the entire world. So the fact that it can't be changed is an amazing thing for anyone who's trying to invest. So here, if you own more than 0.0023, you will own more than most people own, and that's as of today, that's $22. But that's something that it's kind of mind blowing to me, because people who like you have $1 in your bank account, and if you leave that $1 there for 10 years, your dollar is going to be worth less than what it was when you put it in. If you have a Bitcoin and you put it into a bank account, and say that it's on the same trend that it's been for a while now, that Bitcoin is going to be worth right about the same as it was when it went in. And that's an amazing thing to think about it, because the way that, and that's what I said there is not to say that, it's not going to appreciate to an infinite amount, but it's going to be, it's not going to shoot up right then. And people need to learn how to trade in and out, or be in it for the long term. I think that the best way that I would do it is I would split my however much capital I have into 2 sets. I would split it into one. I would buy however much Bitcoin and do a long-term trade. So I would keep that in an account and leave it and not touch it, because if Bitcoin shoots to $20 million, I don't want to be caught on the bottom of having it sold. And then I would trade the other 50% in and out, trying to build more capital to split, and so on and so forth. That's how I would do it personally, and that's how I do it personally. But you can do it however way you want. You can trade in and out with your full Bitcoin if you please, because there's the rules are set, and you can do it how you please. So gold has a $6 trillion market cap. This is another point. Sorry. Gold has a $6 trillion market cap, and Bitcoin is becoming the new form of digital gold, basically, and it's an asset class. So, the Bitcoin, if it's the same as gold, if it becomes the same as gold, the price of one Bitcoin is going to be $340,000, and that's where we traders see the market going, and that's where I see it going. I think that it's definitely in the realm of possibility for Bitcoin to shoot up in price, and for everyone who trades it to become, very financially wealthy, just because of the help that Bitcoin's brought. Number 4 on my points are Bitcoin is transparent. So Bitcoin, it's more transparent than the Federal Reserve. Losing my breath. Bitcoin is slow, and it's not accepted really as much as the U.S. dollar is. But Bitcoin has a lot of things that the U.S. dollar doesn't have. It doesn't have centralization, so it takes all the it's not controlled by one person or a group of people, and it's transparent. So this 2 reasons right here show that Bitcoin is an amazing investment, because of how much you're not with the government anymore, is basically what it means. And it really helps my mindset, knowing that if we see the government have to pay off all its debt, or the U.S. government at least, if it goes deeper into debt and something terrible happens where the government just gets destroyed, which would be so sad. I would be so sad that my money's not going to become worthless overnight. That would be really great. I would have my assets in Bitcoin, and I think that that's where it would go. I think that cryptocurrency would be where people would go with their money. We had cash where we did bartering, okay? we did cash, and now I think it's going on to cryptocurrency. I think that's where people are gonna go. I think I'm gonna want to be able to go into a store, and well, now I can tap and it changes, but I think that without centralized money, then the government can become its own private sector, and it would really great. It would be really great to change the way that things are. Um, Transferring Bitcoin incurs low fees. It has a fair bit of fees, but these are just kind of like some other data about how Bitcoin works. Usually have to have transfer fees with banks. Wells Fargo, for a full Bitcoin, it costs $45 to transfer your money into another. And all these other banks have really terrible transfer fees, but Bitcoin has a $3.4 transfer fee, which is really great compared to these other ones. And other cryptocurrencies have smaller ones, but other cryptocurrencies aren't as far along as Bitcoin is. I think that Bitcoin is the farthest. I'm sure that Bitcoin's the farthest along, actually. Bitcoin also has profits. You can make money off of Bitcoin every day and night. Bitcoin works like a stock, basically. It's not backed by anything, and there's no guarantee that Bitcoin's going to shoot up in price or die at any moment. But Bitcoin is determined by the people who buy it. So if 20 million people buy a Bitcoin at the same time, your price is going to shoot up, and it's going to be amazing for you. Or if everyone sold their Bitcoin right now, it would go back to being nothing. And it's kind of a crazy thing to think about that, but it's never going to drop down to nothing, because people like to hold their assets and make sure that the Bitcoin goes in and out. And I'm 100% sure that people go in there with $40 million, buy a Bitcoin, and then sell it in 2 seconds. I'm sure people do that all the time. That's how the banks work with the government, and I'm sure that everyone's trying to make money off of nothing, because that's what we do. So that's where I'm going to end it. That's 7 points about why Bitcoin is a good investment. It really is. I think you guys should consider investing in Bitcoin. It's a great asset to have, and if the government gets shut down, then you can go buy a Bitcoin, and that would be rad. I hope you guys like the video, and if you like it, consider subscribing and liking and commenting if you would like. But I'll see you next Friday on the next video, okay?